All right. This was a massive shift in the hip hop culture.
Yeah,
It's always funny when like you got the goats that drop just like a verse or something in the way it just shuts down everything.
yeah.
It's
It's just
like
funny too because all this was happening and like you were asleep and I kept trying to wake you up. I was like, look, this was like
Kendrick diss Drake. I was like, I'm trying to sleep.
yeah, like I got
He
work
dissed
tomorrow.
J. Cole. I'm like, okay, I got you. But yeah, obviously, if y'all are here, I'm just gonna assume you guys know. Kendrick responded to the J. Cole and Drake song "First Person Shooter," which was on "For All the Dogs,"
Mhm.
and there was a reference to Kendrick in there. If you didn't hear the lyric, go listen to music and get out from under the rock you're in. But just basically referring to Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick being the big three uh, when it comes to rap, like in rap superstardom. I don't know why people don't talk about Future being up there, but whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah. So for me, I'm gonna give my personal feelings on it. I think that, of course, this is what I love. I love when there's that element of competition because I think it makes everybody's game go up. Like we always still reference the 2013 Control verse from Kendrick where he dropped that and then all of a sudden everybody, people that weren't even dissed were catching, like were feeling like they caught a stray and everybody started going and writing and making music like I like this. This is what makes the music progress and makes it better. It's been too non-competitive, too much TikTok music,
too much camaraderie that they want.
camaraderie. Yeah,
Camaraderie, especially with female rap.
yeah, like
Like
it's too much of that
everybody
stuff.
gotta hold hands.
Like, nah, I want some competition. I want something that's hard. I want hard beats, lyrics crazy. Like, this is the type of stuff that I like. So, for me, it was just a simple response. I don't think it was like, I don't think he was trying super hard on it. Um, you know, your dog's gonna be in a pet cemetery, like all that kind of stuff. Like, it was kind of lightweight jabs. Like, it wasn't nothing
Yeah.
too crazy. A little bit of sparring, and
It's
I
like it's
enjoyed
kind of
that.
like a warm up. Like it's like you throw the shots, and if like Drake wants to return fire, then it could be all out war.
Yeah, because the initial bar that J. Cole said, it wasn't a diss either. It was kind of a shout out a little bit,
Yeah,
but I think there might be some. Kendrick might feel the way about J. Cole aligning himself with Drake when
yeah.
J. Cole and Kendrick were supposed to do the whole collab album like back in the day. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were supposed to be those that like that.
Yeah.
But and now they're both on tour together. So maybe Kendrick feels a way about that.
The light skins united. They did
They did. They did. But yeah, in terms of the diss, yeah, it was cool. It was calm. Like it was a nice
Well,
little jab.
Drake's not light skin. It makes people aren't light
Jab.
skin.
Okay, we're not doing that. It was a nice little jab, and so I enjoyed it, and I liked the competition. Like, but this kicked off this whole wave because this was like everybody's confused, right? Because you had Metro saying you picked your size, stay over there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who he's talking about. He could be talking about 21. There's gonna be a whole lot of speculation as to who he's specifically talking about.
It could be 21. I actually didn't think about that.
Yeah, because I would think 21 would be on a Metro album.
And they work together.
Yeah, of course they
Yeah.
did Savage Mode
Yeah.
1 and 2. They worked together a ton, but you didn't see him on this album.
And people were saying they were like low key to like waiting.
Yeah,
But no, somebody actually made a joke. They're like, I'm 5 tracks, 6 tracks in, and 6 tracks in, and no 21 yet. And they seemed like they were happy about that. I think they were, or they might have just been shocked. I couldn't interpret what they were trying to
interpretate, not just interpret.
Sorry,
Give me a drink. Give me a drink. But yeah, so
Interpretate.
interpretate. Yo, interpretate is crazy. Interpretate is nuts.
I'm putting a drink over there.
Put it on the ground so you don't spill it on the couch.
I don't know. We gotta sell this couch.
But anyway, yeah. So
Interpret.
I think I like it. But what was interesting is they created this whole shockwave because obviously Metro and Drake have an issue because Metro came out and said that he was tired of her loss being nominated for everything and he feels like he didn't get what he deserved with the superhero. I forget what the actual name.
Which
of
I
the
don't
album
feel like
is.
that was a diss. Like I think he was just literally just.
It's expressing frustration, but you pulled your pulled your man's.
I'll be
your
mad
frustration.
if I was Drake, I'll be
you'd
like,
be like, whoa,
yeah.
that was shady. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would feel like.
Yeah.
And then Drake obviously said, all you tweeters and deleters and all that kind of stuff. So that's where that whole Metro Drake thing started. Unless it started from something previously where maybe Drake did something.
I feel it had to be something else. I mean, maybe not, because sometimes literally like we've been involved in our own like personal beefs. Like sometimes there do be something as little as that would trigger an event. But
Yeah.
some of it could be something that was leading up to it, like maybe slight like weird vibes, weird jabs, weird little maybe things that got into it. Maybe a shared woman. Like you never know. There's always a lot of the weird nuance.
And we don't know these people. That's the other thing. People,
We
y'all
don't
got to
know.
realize we don't know these people. We don't know what
Yeah, this
goes
is all
on behind the
speculation.
scenes. Their life isn't the songs. Like
Yeah.
they're not just characters that do songs. They're actual humans that
Yeah.
exist outside of the rap songs themselves.
And they're actually humans that have like you know, we little like people realize like the little things do happen that cause issues in friendships and relationships. So it could have been like there's like little pieces that we could be missing.
Yeah.
Weird little side remarks in the
And we'll
studio.
never know.
Like a lot of big issues people have in friendships and stuff or relationships is like, oh, like why are you clowning me in front of the hoes? Like it could be little stuff that we don't know because we'll never know because the small little things that happen, like interactions that happen in people's day-to-day lives
Yeah,
that we're not privy to.
That could blow up into the music.
Yeah, like I feel like with a lot of my personal problems I have with people, it's like little stuff that like you would never know, like if you weren't around us every day to day, like little jokes, little weird jokes, little weird comments that people make, and like you kind of like you're like, all right, noted. This person's a little weird, noted, but okay.
Yeah.
And it blows up into something which could have been the whole her loss, supervillain, whatever.
Yeah.
Tweet.
So, what we understand from this though is that it's basically it's a Future and Metro album.
Yeah.
So.
Like they're like the main.
It's their album.
Artists.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the fact that Metro has an issue with Drake.
Yeah.
We already know that. But Future allowing Kendrick to get on the album and diss Drake and be on the same song.
Yeah.
Is making everybody feel like Future and Drake have some sort of beef too, which is interesting because they've worked so much together. They've had
over the years.
They have Diamond Records.
Yeah.
Like
over a decade,
like a lot.
They've been working together since we were in high school.
Right. So the alleged, because we know, like I said, with the Kendrick diss, it was like first person shooter. Like, oh, y'all saying it's top 3, it's only top me. Like we got all that. Pet Cemetery, for all your dogs gonna be in the Pet Cemetery. Yeah. All that. So that was the Kendrick
the
bars.
K9.
Yeah. And with Future, the alleged diss to Drake was basically supposedly about a woman, which of course it always is. And Drake saying
that's definitely probably one of the top reasons men fight with each other.
Yeah,
is women.
And Future saying that Drake was basically pillow talking and whatever, and that Drake's a fan and all this other stuff. I don't necessarily know how people connected those dots, but maybe just because of the Kendrick feature and Future and Metro allowing that diss to occur on the album, maybe they were taking that as being a diss towards Drake. I'm still thinking through it, but I'm not entirely sure how they made that connection.
Yeah.
But
we had to do it, like find breakdowns.
Yeah, well, I'll have to sit there and connect the dots in my free time. But they're alleging that Future also dissed Drake over a woman. And 3 options that I've heard that it is the most common one is that there's some woman from Philly. That is the one. Another popular one was SZA. And another one was a dancer at Skyami that they said it could be about.
Skyami? I feel like I've heard reference to that a few times.
Pretty sure it's a strip club.
In Miami?
Yeah. Or there's just a nightclub.
When we go to Miami, we'll have to check it out ourselves and see what it's all about.
We should do open up a blog of just like strip clubs.
Strip club reviews?
Strip club reviews.
From a couple's standpoint.
Yeah. We've done pretty
disclaimer,
much
we just like the vibes of strip clubs. That's all. It's nothing. It's not that. Don't make it anything deeper than it is. Good music, good vibes. That's all.
Wait, is Skyami not an actual place?
Is it not? Maybe it's spelled differently.
Slang for the city of Miami.
I was thinking that because I heard it in a lyric. I'm like, it's just slang.
Am I dumb?
So there's a club though.
They just said. I could have sworn it was though.
I thought it was too. But I did feel like when I heard it in a song that it was like, okay, maybe this is another name for Miami.
I might be dumb. Sorry,
so it's a club maybe in Miami. That they meant like maybe they're saying it's a club in Skyami. The person.
Yeah, that's probably what they're saying. Maybe I misinterpreted
that must be like a newer slang because I haven't heard people calling it
recently.
Skyami until recently. Yeah, I've heard the Yams. Obviously, I heard Miami
305 or whatever else they want to call it. But allegedly, Drake and Future were messing with the same woman, and
first of all,
Drake was pillow talking.
As a side note, both of these men are too old for this. But keep going. Sorry, I just had to say that because Nicki gets a little much hate about her age, but these niggas are just at the same age. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Future and Drake supposedly messing with the same woman, and Drake was saying things in the bedroom allegedly that got back to Future, I think. and that's what's led to this whole beef. So now there's this whole divide of people got to pick sides, and which side is Travis Scott gonna pick, and which side 21 gonna pick, and they
I
they said
hate
it's
the
gonna
picking
be
sides.
civil war in the rap game of who's picking whose side. So that's the current situation that
I
we're
hate
in.
the picking sides thing. I get it, but I hate it at the same time. Like people, I've always been a neutral girl, and I feel like people hate the neutral person. Like we get a lot of hate at the end of the day. 'Cause people be like, you're weak. Pick a side. Like have a stance.
I don't know about the picking the side thing, except for when it comes to 21, because
Yeah.
21 and Metro have a relationship before Drake. So if that was about him, then that makes sense. But everybody else not. Like everybody else they were throwing out there, like
But I've been in a situation like that where I've had a relationship with somebody since birth, literally, and then I had a friendship who I've known her since like 6th grade, right? Then they had a beef, and I was in the middle of it. But I'm like, I have a friend who I've been friends with since middle school, and I have a friend who I've been friends with since I was born. I'm not picking a side between two of my longest friendships. So it was like,
it's a
I
little.
feel that way with like 21. Like, I mean, but that's different though, because 21 did meet Drake after, but that's the same thing in my situation. I did meet this specific friend after I met the other friend.
I think the difference between in their situation is like, I feel like Drake and 21's friendship is more of like an industry friendship.
Same. Whereas the other two, like
Could have
21,
been because they actually live in Atlanta, so
yeah,
it's a
like
little bit
they
different.
might have made like got out the mud together, which I feel like that's a different type of friendship.
Yeah,
But I do feel like with those industry friendships can still form into like
yeah, they
real
can.
friendships. Like even though they're kind of surface level in the beginning, I think they could turn into real like legitimate friendships.
Yeah, they can. It all
And
depends.
I am sorry, not to cut you, but I am
No,
of
I'll
the
cut you
belief
off.
that time doesn't always mean anything either. Like you can know somebody for years and they could not be a great friend to you. Just because you knew them for so long doesn't mean they're a better friend than somebody you knew less years. So,
Yeah.
but
All,
I still do feel like I'm of the belief you could be neutral unless somebody did something so egregious that you have to pick a side.
that's why Travis just be floating. He lets
I'm
all
Travis.
he lets all his friends diss each other on his
Yeah, I'm
songs, and
Travis.
he be a part of all of it. He just be chilling. So
But the bad part about sometimes being a Travis is that people then you're kind of at like a stalemate, so people kind of don't know to trust you all the way. Like you kind of end up not really getting full trust of anybody. But if you're somebody who doesn't really care, then like me, like I don't care. Like I feel like I got in a stalemate and people kind of chose their sides and it kind of left me in a weird area. But I don't care. I don't value like connection with people that much like as they might value
yeah,
it. So I don't
Travis
care.
just chilling, making good music, and like,
Yeah, living his
and I think
life,
people
his
respect
dream.
it too because they still continue to do songs with him on all
Yeah,
sides. Like, I don't think he cares. But
yeah,
also at the same time with his diss, I don't think it was so dramatic as people try to make it seem.
yeah,
At this, because it's like it's sparring. Like it's not like anybody actually directly dissed anybody.
yeah.
J. Cole never dissed Kendrick.
There was no names. There was no ats. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's true.
yeah. It was like
Like we
subtle.
know, obviously,
Yeah,
but
because all the dogs. Like, come on,
mm,
first person shooter. Like you're saying specific song names and album names.
mm,
But it's like if anybody has been involved, like anybody who's a real rap fan knows what the stage of the rap beef is.
mm-hmm.
This is a lot of subliminals, a lot of like indirect direct shots, and then it's the balls in Drake's court almost. Like it's his next response. Either you're ducking the beef, or you're gonna be very clear, or you're gonna keep up the subliminals until somebody just comes out and be like, all right, like this is obviously a beef. Like now I'm about to say something directly.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about Kendrick though is that he does come out every so often. He's not so frequent enough where he keeps saying that he's the best, which I agree. But he needs to say these things and then drop something like crazy, like masterful, like
and he has the ability. Like he's a great artist. That's why I hate that there's such this debate about who the big three is. Like just because Drake drops a lot of music doesn't mean Kendrick is not a great artist. Just because he drops less. Like Kendrick is really like a lyricist. Like he's really good at what he does. So I feel like he just, like you said, it can't be I'm coming out. It's just a beef. Like yeah, drop a project, like drop a single. This would have been a good time to kind of come back. Like I'm like him. This could be this whole I'm reclaiming this GOAT status, and here I am. Like now I'm about to really like show you guys my talent. Like don't just come out the shadows and like I hate you, Drake, and then hype.
yeah, because he did the same thing, like
Keem,
with
right?
Baby Keem's song.
Yeah, with the clowning the Jersey Club thing that Drake was doing, right? Like when they made
He did do that club song. Yeah, I do remember that. It was that one, but I'm also saying there was Smoking on Top Fives.
Yeah,
that whole thing.
I mean, and granted, that wasn't that long ago. It's not like That was like what, 2 years ago, a year ago?
Yeah,
Not even. It hasn't been
but
that
then
long.
he did. Yeah, but it's like you gotta.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like
you
what
gotta
else?
like show us then.
But we did just get a Kendrick project not so long ago.
We did.
Like that was like what, 2 years ago? Like time is like so weird to me nowadays. I can't really keep up. Like when was the album? Was that 2022 or 2023?
I feel like
It might have been 2023,
I
right?
feel like it was
Beginning.
2023.
Like I forgot, but it might have only just been last year that he gave us a whole project. Like so, it's not like he's not giving us projects. What
But
was that called?
now you
Morale, right? Morale.
yeah, the big separate. But now that he did this, now I need to hear something.
Yeah, drop a single.
Show me something.
Like give us another control. But I mean, then again, it doesn't have to necessarily be like
give us another control and give us beef music.
Yeah,
I need all that.
Yeah, come heavy. Don't I feel like this little subtle disses like for years it's kind of whack. Like get into it now. Like okay, we know there's a beef. Like now, like come out. Like do at least like Nicki just did Bigfoot. Like we need something like that. Like come out with something like a life of Adidon.
Give us something to talk about.
Type of thing.
We
need
that
a story
back.
of Adidon type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think we'll get to that point?
I hope so.
I hope so too, because I love that era, that story Adidon era, and like, dang, if we could have reacted to that in real time, like I would love to see our reaction, because that was such a crazy diss. And Drake I feel like he hasn't really recovered from that. Like that definitely still bothers him for sure. And that's why he still feels away towards Kanye. Like that still bothers him. Cause that was like a generation of this. we need that type of energy again.
And God, we've never seen Kendrick battle like something like that. Oh my God,
like a literal actual like head-to-head battle, like adding names and like
I need to see that.
I would love to see
at least once in my lifetime, because he's really good at like the subliminal dissing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does that well, just like Drake does. But I need something like specific, like lyrical, just like kill. Because like Joe Budden was the only person I think that lyrically like really smoked Drake.
Yeah,
like
lyrically.
That was like OD.
Yeah, because Pusha T has lyrical ability, but not as much as somebody like a Kendrick. Like Pusha T was good with. He gave us some like. It
was simple. News. It was good, and it was good too.
It was what it needed to be.
And also not just because everybody like focuses on the kid thing, but also everything else that he was saying outside of that was
he painted a whole picture of this broken man with identity crisis issues and parent issues and mommy issues potentially and like daddy issues. And he painted this whole picture like that was like a master.
The blackface stuff.
Yeah, the blackface stuff.
Yeah, like that's like
him being mixed race and now about how to split into his like. Who he chose as his girl and who he's
also Drake
with. Like he painted a picture.
Also, Future said that was one of the bars. I forget what it was, but he said that like he was if that's about him, he was basically calling Drake a poser, and he just be like capping on like with like the gangster stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot you could break down about him, and I feel like if a real lyricist goes to the battle, like I said, Joe Budden did good at it, but unfortunately, Joe Budden doesn't have the popularity to go head to head.
But if Kendrick did it,
Kendrick, oh my God, ooh.
Kendrick, do it, please. We beg you, please do it.
We need that man to be humble. I feel like Drake is already humble. I think like how we talked about earlier in our podcast. Like I think he does sit down at night and he knows his like where he falls short. I think he knows.
Well, it's not a humbling to me. I just like the competition because he shouldn't be humble. Like,
I mean, obviously he's done amazing, great things. Like we can't.
Nah, I know you hate him, so your perspective is that you hate him and you want Kendrick to make him like cry or something.
No, I don't hate him. Like obviously, like his music still like was a big part of like my teen years. Like, I used to be a fan. That's the funny part. I used to actually be a fan. So it's just like I'm just like, just don't like really a lot of who he presents himself to be. Like I don't know him, but I don't like a lot how he presents himself. I don't like a lot like how he moves. I don't like how he's always in beef. So I just live for the beef, and I live for him to kind of be like. Told him himself. That's all.
Yeah, because you hate him.
I don't hate
me. I just like competition because I'm gonna continue to enjoy it. Because that's the thing. Everybody always feels like you have to pick a side. Like you can't like Drake and like Kendrick and like Kanye and like 21 and like J. Cole. Everybody's weird that way. So like I like the competition, and I just know it pushes people to make better music, and that's all I want to see.
And we all win when there's better music out there.
So please don't just make it the subliminal. Yeah. Like don't Drake come back with a big steppers line. Like y'all think y'all steppers, but.
Yeah, my whole thing is like the subliminal thing is cool as a warm up, but let's get into it. Like, let's like why are we dodging around what we know is there's an issue. There's an issue there clearly. Why are we playing around?
And there's been an issue.
Subliminals like. Let's get into it.
This issue's been around for over 10 years.
Yeah, like let's get into it. Put it all on the table. Like create a historical moment. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
We'll see what happens next, but. I don't know. Do you think? I mean, I don't think Drake's type to dodge beef. Do you? I don't think he does.
Here, well, I think he
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, do you feel like sometimes he maybe dodged it when he feels like the person's more of like a threat?
yeah, because he dodged Joe.
And that's what somebody was saying to like see how he leaned into Meek so much. Like they're like he was so willing to lean into Meek, and even push a T a little bit. He might have felt like he had a one up, but it's like it seemed like he's dodging.
He didn't lean into Pusha T though. He just still continued to go at Kanye when he dissed. Like he
That's
didn't.
true.
He never really said much about Pusha
That's
T.
true. That's true. And that's why
Yeah,
he didn't even respond after the story of Adidon. That man literally came for your whole life, your mom, your child. Not really coming for your child, but the mother of your child, and you was crickets. He was on podcast, right? LeBron podcast and stuff, right? What's that after that?
yeah. And Drake did respond after the story Adidon, but for Adidon to be so direct, and then for the responses to be indirect.
Yeah, it's weak. Like, come on, I thought this was the GOAT. I thought this was the GOAT. But I feel like that was him saying I lost. Like I think he knew he lost that, so that's why he just stopped. But I do feel like he hasn't really ever directly came for Kendrick, right? Like he just kind of does the GOAT stuff, right? Like has he said anything directly to Kendrick or kind of like so subliminal? I know I might be missing some context. I'm just
Yeah,
forgetful.
like he's dissed Kendrick since.
Oh yeah, duh. Like back in like the early 2010s.
Like since basically after Kendrick got on Take Care.
Yeah.
Basically ever since there.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, they really haven't like had no like bond or whatever since then.
Nah, they did. He did Buried Alive interlude on Take Care, and then Drake did Poetic Justice, and then there was a beef ever since.
Poetic Justice. How see my brain? I'd be forgetting stuff. That was like, obviously like a huge.
And they've hated each other since, but they won't diss each other.
But now this is seeming really direct.
And he kept dissing him too. Like on the language was a diss track to Kendrick.
Dang, this is like, I mean, we're going on over 10 years at this point. Cause that language was 2013, 2014. Like, come on. Let's get the ball rolling. Like, I don't like this whole
acting like
playing
your shit
around.
is so inspiring.
Yeah, like I don't like the whole playing around. Let's get into it. Like let's put ads on it. Like we haven't had that in a while. Like Nicki gave it us that with Meg, but like I want it with the men rap. Like I want that. Like I feel because you know it is a little more intense. Like not to be sexist, but it is a little more sometimes intense with the men rap. Women seem to duck the beef a lot too. I will say like we never in women rap have had as intense beefs ever really. They seem to duck it, and there's this whole woman empowerment, hold hands. Men have usually given us better rap beef moments, so I'm just wanting that. We need that to relive that 2018 time.
Yep.
So what do you think is next then? Drake, like the ball's in Drake's court, right? Well, not necessarily because Kendrick can still always follow up with a single. We don't know what else might come, but it seems like at this point, what do you feel like the ball's in Drake's court?
Well, they said allegedly they played the song in a club while Drake was there, which I don't think is true. I think somebody saw Drake at the club and he was on his phone. And people just said, they're just making it sound like. I did
see a video though of Drake leaving someplace and some like grown people were like grown ass man, but there was like a man that was like, Drake, are you gonna respond to Kendrick? Like Kendrick's better. Like I didn't watch the video, but apparently he was like standing outside, waited for him outside, like and just to
was that him leaving Carbone?
It must have been. Was he in New York?
Or
was in Miami? Yeah. I didn't watch the video, but apparently the person was like coming for him, like Kendrick's better, like some grown ass man being a weirdo, guzzling Kendrick, but he obviously didn't say anything.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, what do you think is next? Like, do you think we get a single from Drake? Do you think next time we hear something is gonna be in like an official release? Like, what do you think?
I think because they're on tour, that Drake's not gonna do anything, and I think that.
But Drake could potentially say something on tour.
He could, but I don't think he's gonna do that because that's something that could work. Like when he did that response to the Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. I don't know how people want to refer to him, but when he responded to his interview and like he dissed him by putting like the scrolling thing on the stage. Like I think with somebody like him, it's a little different where he feels like I feel like Drake would feel like he can respond to him that way because he doesn't necessarily view that as being any real competition. But I think with somebody like Kendrick, I don't think if he is going to respond, I don't think he's going to play with it. So I don't think he'll respond on tour. I don't think he's going to go on stage and do some random subliminal. I don't think it'll be anything like that.
Yeah, I mean it could be though because I feel like Drake has responded to stuff recently, like on stage. Like, then something happen and he said something and everyone's like, "Ooh, that was a response."
with
Something
Rihanna.
happened. Yeah, no, it was like yeah, I think it was Rihanna or something with a woman, or it might have been Meg. He says
Oh
something.
yeah, and Houston. He's like, oh, not that Meg.
I feel like he would say something or could say something potentially with this beef, like and say something slick, especially like if he's in the cities, like if he's in Atlanta, right, or where Future's from Atlanta, or like where Kendrick's from, right? Like I feel like
Compton.
Compton, yeah. I feel like he would potentially maybe we'll see what happens. Because if you're not gonna respond to the beef directly or anytime soon, then you might say something slick and at a concert, like he does the whole talk, blah, blah, blah.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because the Kendrick Drake thing is different. Like it has so much of a history, and like anybody that's
Yeah,
really into like the hip hop part has been waiting for it. And I feel like he wouldn't want to play with this one. Meg is a woman, first of all, so it's like power dynamic there.
yeah,
So it's kind of easy to get off that, or even Rihanna, like you see, he did that on stage. It's kind of easy to do that with women, but this is Kendrick Lamar we're talking about. So I feel like if he does respond on the tour, it won't be anything like that he's gonna play
we'll
with.
see. But to be honest, the longer he takes, like the weaker he might look in this. So, or people might take, oh, he's in a different place. He's so much more successful, so he's not gonna waste his time. So people are gonna perceive it
But
different ways. But
because this is just a jab, he has more time than he would if this was actual diss.
yeah, if it was distant, you need 48 hours is like the cap. But yeah, we'll see
Yeah.
though. I just hope it's not stretched out. Like I hope it's soon. Like
Yep.
soon. Yeah, drawn out maybe is better. I hope it's soon. Like some type of response. I hope it's soon.
Yeah.
Cause I live for the rap beef. I like rap beef. It makes music fun. Cause that's what this genre was all about. Like and a part of it, not all of it, but it's been a part of the genre since the beginning. So I would love for there to be a quick response. Like I think 2024 is going to be a very interesting year for music and a good year for music. It's been good so far. So it would be very interesting to see how the rest of the year goes.
Yep.
Team Kendrick. Team Kanye.
Anything
Team.
else?
Who else is on the team? Future. That would be interesting to see too how that transforms the future Drake potential beef. But in my opinion, Drake's a common denominator, not just because he's successful, but I think he has personality flaws. I don't know him personally, but based on how he acts, I think there's some flaws there. So, Team Kendrick.
And on that note, this has been a Couple of Things
Oh yeah,
podcast where we
I was gonna
talk
ask you what
about.
team are you on, but you're not on any team.
I just like good
You
music.
just like good music.